So, I see you made it back to the Rock of Bral. Come to see what we have in store for you here at my warehouse. Men, let us in. Trust me, it is not empty. Once we close the door, I see the surprise on your face. Here, I'll show you my collection. All right. You have pestered me enough to grant you an audience with the great Daargaz. You may see my warehouse just this one time, and all purchases are final. Follow me. All right, come on in, my friend. Let me show you some of my collections. For the right price, I might even be willing to part ways with some of it. This egg-shaped container of oil-darkened steel bears only an engraved rune. If the rune is touched and a secret command word is spoken, the egg is activated. This is a one-time magical item. It slowly melts away, and all magic within 30 feet will be drained. Even scrolls and potions, even helms. The making of such eggs is known by many priests and mages, but each who knows it keeps it a secret. It is said that it is a long and expensive process. Now, we usually try to destroy these devices whenever we can, but this one was given to me by Oteluk of Oerth. Elminster thinks this is the work of the Illithid, perhaps working with humans and drow. But calling these eggs a human invention is just pure hubris. This is worth 4,000 gold pieces. Now this is the armor of the Arcane. A few of these blue giants have been encountered wearing the magical armor. This armor magically alters the size of whoever fits it. It protects you from all forms of natural and magical influence in any control attempts. Also makes you immune to poisonous vapors. This thing can absorb all lower magic spells like cantrips and third level spells. It also gives you a 90-foot range of infravision, but this is only for the Arcane. It's not for sale. If someone has seen you wearing such armor, we would have to challenge you right away, and anybody impersonating the Arcane, well, we will know telepathically. Not even mere illusions can fake us. Usually, we just offer you a magic item in return. We do not like fighting. Please, if it comes to that, that's why I have bodyguards. Oh, that there? That's more than a morning star. That is a battle star. It is highly prized, especially by the Gith and the barbarian base-faring tribes. This is actually a +4 weapon. It can be wielded by small creatures. When it hits somebody in combat, it flashes with a brilliant bright light called Starfire. This light blurs the vision of those not expecting it, causing them -1 on their next hit. It can also be thrown for regular damage, but will not return, so I suggest you hold on to it. The touch of the Battlestar causes all magical glyphs, symbols, and wards and runes to monetarily glow without discharging them, thus revealing all magical traps. The touch of a Battlestar also destroys the magical holds, any magical locks. This will run you 3,500 gold pieces. That is a beacon helm. I am the only one here to sell them. It is like a major helm and is fitted with a silent, unlimited range of alarms. It comes with a ring. The only people who can use it are the ones with the specialized rings. These rings must be fashioned together with the helm and cannot be linked to an existing helm. They are fashioned with adamantite, each fitted with a single large blue carbuncle. If the stone is shattered or removed from the ring is forever ruined. The alarm beacons are silent, but can be felt by the wearer, and the stones with them flash and pulse visibly when the alarm is on. At such times, any spellcasting attempted by the ring wearer will be successful. We would never release how these beacon helms are made, but we usually sell them to the Nyoki. I know, you do not like them. But for us, gold is all we ask. A beacon helm usually costs almost 300,000 gold, plus 60,000 gold for any additional beacon rings. You might find them cheaper with 40,000 gold pieces or higher, but trust me, you want one by the Arcane. Eyeing that beautiful belt over there. This is the most common and least powerful of what we wear. It is a cummerbund-shaped belt worn by us. We rarely sell these things, but if we see you wear them, unlike the armor, we will not attack. Usually these are traded and sold by the Arcane in the recent past. Some have been found in space. We usually try to collect them. When you turn the stud on the belt, the wearer who knows its secrets can levitate at a given height. This allows the wearer to rise and descend in the air gently. and appear to walk on water. There's no limitation on the number of times this power can be activated, but turning it on and off requires at least 6 seconds. The belt can also shed a magical light or darkness spell, up to 20 feet radius around the wearer, identical to the effects of the wizard spells. Once you use the belt will not repeat the particular effect until 6 seconds later. The belt may be removed without the function ceasing, and the wearer may create the darkness, slip off the belt, and leave it to creep blindly toward an unknown exit. The belt has one additional power. By properly manipulating the studs, the belt wearer can raise a wall of force twice a day. The belt studs are all locked into place and cannot accidentally be manipulated by a casual swipe or jostle. The belt appears to be leather with a metal boss. These things are very valuable. I couldn't tell you how much they would be. Oh, that stone box there? That is called the Dead Box. That's constructed of aether stone, a rock found in many asteroids and a few mountain ranges on planets. The box's sides are made of solid slabs of stone, sealed with a natural rubber mixed with Gorgon's blood. Properly made Dead Box completely and utterly foils any means, either magically or natural. Dead Boxes can come in any size and are airtight. It is rumored that the name of this box comes not only from the magic dead properties inside, but of the fate of the maid or other fools who tried to hide in one of these to escape detection. That one will only cost you 300 gold pieces. That beautiful chair is not a mere chair, it is a death helm. It looks like any other helm, but drains the life form of those being used to spell jam. This is what creates a life jammer, but this one affects intelligent creatures. It creates a powerful charm spell that makes them enjoy the feeling of spell jamming and regard the helm as a place of comfort and safety. Charmed helmsmen act normally as if all respects, except that they will resist attempts to be removed from the helm. Ha ha ha! Its magic prevents them from feeling any weakness or any other ill effects as they waste away. Spelljammers in the Death Helm have been known to fight comrades trying to remove them, soldiering them onto the helm until they suddenly crumble and die in a matter of seconds as their last life force is taken away from them. You might think this is cruel, but we just look for the coin. The secrets of making these Death Helms are not only openly acknowledged by any individual or spacefaring race, but too many of these fell into the devices found in the modern ships. I can't tell you how much this would cost you. Over 300,000 gold pieces. Are you looking at those small, sharp-edged circular metal plates? Those thick centers that taper smoothly toward the edges? Those are the discus of disenchantment. They're often used by the halflings, who sell them to the humans, elf, and the gift. When you throw them at somebody, they must make a dexterity saving throw. Anything that it strikes will release a magical energy that will drain items instantly, untraceably, and harmlessly into the surroundings. Such a discus can, of course, drain items it is carried or stored with. On a successful hit, the person who is struck must make a dexterity saving throw. Any items that it hit automatically loses its power, so be careful where you store this. This will run you 500 gold pieces. It can't be used again. You see that very rare longsword? It was made for the spacefaring elves. It's called a gem sword. Over the ages, the secrets of making and repairing them have been lost. And now us, the Arcane, some archmages know how to recharge them. These are +4 weapons of electric blue metal. A very fine sort of steel, slim and bejeweled, with ornate twisted hilts. They are beautiful to behold and prized by all spacefarers. They constantly gather light energy from nearby sources, and once a day can be commanded to make a power strike. Upon a hit, it deals damage to a ship, 3d4 damage to an individual, and each sword has several show gems. They are usually just decorative, although are very valuable. One may have 1, 2, or 3 power stones. These blue-green gems of unknown origin are able to hold magical energies within them, identifiable by their cut. They can hold the following spells: Regenerate, Lightning Bolt, and Teleport. Each charge equals 1 spell, called forth by mental command of the wielder, who is always aware of what the sword can do in rough physical terms and how many charges it has. Recharging such swords is known to involve the casting of spells they hold, but the process remains a secret. I can't put a gold price on it. You'll have to make an offer. That there is called a helm bomb. That'll cost you 40,000 gold pieces. You would put this near a helm, and on a rare instance of operating multiple power sources, the ship upon which the helm bomb is placed is torn apart. This occurs even if the controller of the original power source attempts to mesh the directions and intensity of the thrust exactly. The device's warring power fields force them apart, destroying the ship and firing the two sources away from each other in random directions and speeds. They continue to operate until power is removed or exhausted. In case of the original power source, the helm bomb rushes on through space, dwindling but dangerous space missile, consuming its own material for power. It cannot be stopped or salvaged. The bomb typically consumes itself within 50 days. The helm must be brought onto a ship and turned on when no other magical power sources are on, and it does nothing except act as its self-powered helm that eats itself up and then collapses. The bomb effects occur only when another power source is operating. If the bomb is already on, a second source cannot be activated and no ship breakup can occur. This way, it can be used as a one-shot hijack power source to prevent control of a ship's legitimate helm. Activating a helm bomb as a power source requires that the living being sit in the helm. The being need not have magical or spell jamming ability, but just sit there to will the helm into action. Such a being can get up as soon as he sets the course or direction, thereby avoid any damages that the helm bomb consumes itself. If used as a bomb, the activator is on when it flies apart, suffers the same damage as the helmsman aboard a legitimate helm. An adroit activator can hurl himself clear in an instant after engaging the bomb to avoid being pulled out of the ship. You're looking at that metal sphere there. It's bristling with telescoping flexible metal legs mounted on the swivel joint so that it can twist and turn freely. The legs are control arms. Each is magically linked to an oval metal disc which may be worn, swallowed, or otherwise affixed to any object, living or not. The manner of attachment will not affect the function of this device in any way, but each control arm can have one and only one specific disc linked to it. If the disc is destroyed, its matching control arm is rendered useless. Each can manipulate a floating object in wild space, atmospheres, or the phlogiston by means of their linkage with the discs affixed to such objects. Pulling a rod out of its greatest extent, about 2 feet long, moves the disc away from the control orb. Pushing it flush with the orb will bring it within an actual foot of the control sphere. Bending a rod or moving it in one direction or another will cause a corresponding movement of a distance disk. Control rods can be entangled all too easily, and there is a limit to the orb's effective range. A disk which drifts or is carried beyond 2,000 feet from an orb ceases to be controlled until it re-enters the orb's range again. Any dispel magic cast on the disk causes it to drop out of the orb's control. The orb cannot push a disk in opposition to a concerted effort against it, nor can it cause a disc-linked object to pass through ship bulkheads or strike obstacles with enough force to cause damage. The device is normally used to help free-floating cruisemen easily repair and manipulate sails, riggings in deep space, or retrieve lost and drifting objects. The interesting part is that this device is not affected by the presence of magic or spellcasting, but the discs and objects they move are subject to all physical and magical attacks in a normal way. A disc can move any object, regardless of shape or size, but whenever an object comes within 2 feet, it will suddenly slow, akin to the slowing of a spell-jammed ship. This appears to be a natural space phenomenon that only the Arcane know about, you silly humans, and occurs despite the wishes of the orb's operator. The orb control links will pass through any known physical or magical barrier, except a crystal sphere. Of course you would know that. That does not mean that an operator will be able to know what is happening to the manipulated objects. Nor does it mean that those objects can freely pass through such barriers. The device can be used to create sparks or flames by striking flint with steel. I wouldn't do that in the phlogiston that still exists. The origins of these orbs are interesting. They were heard to be fashioned by an ancient, now vanishing spell-jamming race. There are very few and highly prized. I'm sure you have enough coin for this. I will tell you the secret, since we are among friends. Not even the Arcane know how to work these, and that's hard for me to say. This one is not for sale. This is one of my private collections. Now, over here, this black obsidian rod is made of human bone. The secrets of its making are known to just us, and so it is thankfully very rare. Please don't touch the glass. If you touch a dead person with this rod, it creates animate dead. The undead will rise for the next round to be loyally served the rod's wielder, and the wielder becomes immune to the rod's effect. The undead target does not even need to be in solid form to be affected, and is destroyed despite phylacteries or other aids. And the properties that usually permit it to rise again, such as Vampire's Coffin, all undead are allowed a saving throw to gain immunity to this attack. This Rod of Death may also cause death by touch. The wielder of this rod can also cause creatures to collapse. At the touch of the rod, the victim loses a hit point and must save against the rod. This state causes a minimum of 3 rounds despite any attempts to revive the victim or dispel magic. This attack drains another charge. A Rod of Death can also cause plants to wither and shrivel upon touch, losing blooms or spores. This does not kill the plants, and the rod cannot animate dead plant material. Looking at that rod there, hon? That is the Rod of Death. That is black obsidian and human bone meshed together. Secrets of its making are known to but a few, and so, thankfully, this is very rare. You must attack a creature with this, and upon attack, the wielder silently wills it to work. A Rod of Death may animate dead. The undead rise on the next round to be loyal servants of the rod's wielder. This function drains 3 charges. The rod can also disrupt undead. Undead target may not need to be in solid form to be affected, and is destroyed despite the phylactery or other aids, and the properties that such permit it to rise again, such as a vampire's coffin or soil. All undead are allowed a saving throw against the Rod of Death. The rod can cause the spell death by touch. The wielder also can use the rod to cause creatures just to collapse just by a touch. The victim loses a hit point every round. The victim loses life every round until it makes a save. The Rod of Death can also cause plants to wither and shrivel upon touch, losing blooms and spores. This does not kill plants. This does not kill the plants. Also can't animate dead plant material. There's but only a few of these in all the realms. Looking at you, I know you could afford it. Now I know you've heard of the Rod of Orbs. Now we can't possibly tell you how these were made. I know there are rumors out there that they were relics of a vanished human spacefaring race. Some say we came up with them to prevail in the early conflicts against the Beholders. And I know your archmages are researching how to recharge them. But right now, it remains a secret. Such rods crumble instantly to dust when drained. The Rod of Orbs stands out from other rods. Fashioned by a brass or bronze, it has 2 bulbous eye-shaped ends, and when grasped, such a rod gives the holder a 90-foot range of infravision. Once per turn, the bearer can mentally command the rod to give him X-ray vision for a continuous 4-round period. The power can be ended early if the rod wielder wills, but unused time cannot be saved. Once a day, the rod can be willed to give the wielder an indivisible, continuous period of true seeing. This function will drain 2 of the charges. The rod also confers immunity to all gaze-related attacks, such as those of the Beholders, Medusas, Umberhulks, and vampires. This will cause 1 charge. The rod must be held to confer such protection, but need not be wielded. When in such a state, the holder is automatically protected. May not be aware that the particular attack has been made. If such a rod is not held, its protection is not used, and no charges are lost to the gaze-related attack any sort. The wielder can will the rod to provide reflection, costing 2 charges per attack protected against, instead of 1. This works against all forms of eye-related attacks. Most rods that you would see would come with about 30 charges, but this one, sir, has all 70. Please, come to the gnomish section here. I have some of the greatest gnome inventions in all the realms and beyond. You wanted something interesting, and this here is made from the finest crafted gnomish inventors. This here is a globe gun and fires a small brown pudding from this here breakable glass that you just shove it into here. But over here is the bigger version, a ballista that can fire whole gray ooze. This might look like a piece of 4-foot dull pewter. This, my friend, is a spell reflector that reflects all magic. Unfortunately, it's gnomish and unreliable. It has a 2 in 6 chance of actually functioning, but I do have a lot of these. So, what caught your fancy? I know we can strike a deal.